Hello once again and welcome to the Solid Sports video blog. This is episode 31 and today's date is September 27th, 2017. Thank you so much for joining me. Solid Dead Santa here. Of course, my name is Troy West. Thank you guys for watching the blogs as they've been doing pretty well the last few weeks. Now that we got football season started. Of course, this is the Thursday Night Football edition, which I record every Wednesday. So I thank everybody for watching. Of course, tomorrow's matchup features the Chicago Bears going to Lambeau Field to meet the Green Bay Packers in the NFC North division showdown tomorrow night. Big game for both teams. Bears, of course, coming at 1-2. Green Bay coming at 2-1. Both teams coming off overtime wins Sunday, so should be an interesting game in the division. Division games are always interesting. Of course, I'm going to break down this game. I just want to look back at week 3 real quick. I didn't do well in my picks. I only got 8 right, 8 wrong, so I split up maybe even 8-8 last week. A lot of surprises results. That Ravens-Jaguar game was surprising. I watched that game live. That was a little bit of surprise. Denver going to Buffalo and losing. A lot of games that had questionable results, but of course, they always say every given Sunday, so it was an interesting week 3 last week. Of course, I break down week 4 Friday. I'm doing my blog early this week. I'm doing it Friday this week since I got another busy weekend, so I'm gonna record it early on Friday. So look out for this week's blog. There's lots of stuff to get into this weekend. Of course, the NBA trade, of course, you heard about Carmelo Anthony. I'll touch on that. I have another top 5 list. A lot to talk about this week in sports, so I'll cover all that, all the stuff going on off the field as well with the protesters and stuff in the NFL. Yeah, I'll be recording on Friday this week instead of Saturday, so just look out for that this week. Alright, so let's get more into this matchup. Of course, the Bears coming at 1-2. I'm gonna start with them. I'm impressed by how they've been playing this year. Pretty much 2 of the 3 games has been competitive. Even though they 1-2, they're not mailing in the season like a lot of people think they are. Hey, running game has been impressive to me, led by Jordan Howard. Looked very good against Pittsburgh last week. Speaking of one of the games, I thought that was going to go another way. They pretty much ran the ball down the Steelers' throat and controlled the game for the most part and won it in overtime. I really like their running game. If you playing fantasy, any of the Bears running backs, Turbin as well. But Howard will probably be the stud to play for the Bears or offense. I think that's the only chance they have of winning this game, though. Like, if they could control the clock, sort of how they did against Pittsburgh, run the ball successfully against Green Bay. Green Bay had a lot of injuries last week, even though they won. The defensive front would be healthy, so maybe that'll stop the running game. If the Bears try to do that tactic, I think that's the only way they got to win. They're not going to outthrow the Packers. But like I said, division games are always tricky, always competitive. Of course, they got Green Bay 7-point favorites. I would take the points there. I don't think it's going to be. I think it's going to be closer than 7. Even though my score is pretty. It's not close. It's closer than 7. I'll just put it that way. But I'll get to that once I break down the Packers. A lot of Bears fans been saying they're still crying for Trubisky, not as loud, especially because they won last week. But Glennon still haven't played that well. I still think not yet. Not till you pretty much out of it, or if Glennon just have a really bad game. I like Trubisky. I liked how he looked in the preseason, but it's preseason. This is the regular season, so don't want to drag him out there to get hurt. I would still wait for a while. Bears look decent. Like, if they run the ball, don't take it out of Mike Glennon's hands. They still a decent team. The defense still pretty competitive. I like the way they look so far this year, even though they 1-2. But I think they're going to have a hard time with the Packers stopping them on offense. So I think they need to play ball control, run the ball as much as possible with Howard, and see if they can get by that way. Green Bay Packers, of course, they come in at 2-1. Of course, they only lost to Atlanta, which is, not a bad loss on their resume. Barely got by the Bengals last week. I watched that game as well. That game was on TV, as Aaron Rodgers was able to drive them down in overtime and get the win and get the last second touchdown to tie the game as well, with a beautiful throw to Jordy Nelson that cements Aaron Rodgers as one of the best in the league, especially at throwing the football. Like I said, I mentioned they had a lot of injuries last week. I looked at the injury report. Not as long of a list. All the key guys that was out last week could be back. Cobb, I think, is not on the list, so he'll probably be ready to play tomorrow to help their receiver core. Still don't like their running game. Their running game still concerns me. I mean, I like Montgomery in the backfield, but he's still not a pure running back. He's starting to get the hang of it. He does just a good enough job, but he's still not a running back. I think they still need to get a steady running back to help Aaron Rodgers out. But Aaron Rodgers is still a bad man. He still gets the job done, especially last week. You look at Green Bay on paper, it's like, they don't, they have a lot of decent players, but no, complete studs on either side of the ball. But I just like how they fit as a team. That's why I still think they're going to represent the NFC in the Super Bowl this year. I think Aaron Rodgers is tired of hearing about him not winning since 2010 and all this other stuff they talking about. He ain't, some people give him praise, some people don't. I think he's the best quarterback by talent in NFL, clearly. I think it's good. The game gonna go down. I think it's gonna be a little bit high scoring. I got Green Bay winning 30-24. I think Rodgers gonna have a couple of touchdown passes, having a couple of big plays. I think the Bears gonna stay there because I think the Eagles gonna be able to run the ball a little bit. But I think they gonna not be. I think some drives gonna stall. Not probably gonna be able to finish some drives. I think Green Bay holds on and win it. I got them winning by 6, so it's not close to the 7 spread, but I wouldn't be surprised if that score is closer. Like I said, I don't like predicting exact scores, even though some of the scores I predicted has been close to right or the margin of victory was right. So, you gotta put yourself in the back when you're right sometimes. So, but I see this game being competitive. It's a division game. It's Thursday night, so don't have a lot of time to prepare. They know each other already. Like I said, I think the Bears gonna try to run the ball. I think they'd be somewhat successful. I think Green Bay would just be a little bit too much. They'll pull away at the end. The final score will be around 30-24. And Green Bay will move to 3-1 and be on top of the division. Of course, Detroit lost last week in a close one to Atlanta on a controversial call in the end zone. So Green Bay could stay tied with the Lions this week. Of course, I'll talk a lot more about Week 4 on Friday. Surprised I got by my notes pretty quickly. Ran through my notes pretty quickly. Like I always do on Wednesdays, I give you my Power 5, my top 5 teams in the NFL by ranking so far this year. Every week I do one, just like everybody else do one. I'm going to start at number 5. Number 5, I got the Pittsburgh Steelers. Of course, they're coming off the loss to the Bears. They was number 2 last week on my rankings. I dropped them to 5. I said they haven't looked good all year, but I had them high at the beginning of the year. So... but depending on what some things happened last week, they could be out of the list completely. But I kept them in it. They still 2-1. Big game against the Ravens this week. I see how they look against the Ravens. They look good either. Team I was ready to probably put in the top 5. I am a Ravens fan, by the way. But I'm not that biased as you would think I would be. Said I got something to say about that at the end of the video. The Steelers are number 5. Number 4, the Kansas City Chiefs. Finally get them in here. There's no denying it. They 3-0. They possibly could be number 1 next week if Atlanta wind up losing. And Green Bay don't look too good against the Bears. And I think New England play Carolina this week. So it depends on how they look. I will put the Chiefs number 1. If Atlanta win, they're going to stay there no matter what. Just because they finished so high, and I think they're going to do well this year. But the Chiefs deserve a lot of credit. They 3 wins. You probably could argue had the best 3 wins of the year so far. They can move up definitely this week, especially if they win this week. They played Monday night against the Washington football team, so if they look impressive against them, who knows? They could be number one next week. Actually, if they stay undefeated, it'd be hard for me to keep them under New England, who they beat, by the way, which people probably say, how is they above them? New England is number 3 on my list. They was number 4 last week. They moved up a spot. Had a tough one against Houston, but still pulled it out. And just like by virtue of how I think they're going to do this year, I moved them up a spot. And speaking of the Packers, they're number 2. They was 3rd last week. They moved up with the win over Cincinnati. Like I said, I still think they're going to represent the NFC in the Super Bowl. Have a couple of holes, but who don't? I got them number 2 and number 1, which I've already said, Atlanta, and number 1 again for the 2nd week in a row. Just continue to get wins. I don't know who they play this week, but like I said, only way they can move down if they lose. So my top 5 once again, the Steelers dropped from 2 to 5. Kansas City makes my list for the first time this year. They number 4 and is moving up fast. New England Patriots number 3. They was 4th last week. Green Bay Packers number 2. They was 3rd. They was number 1 to start the season. Number 2 to start the season. So they right back where they were. And Atlanta number 1. Probably be number 1 or 2. They really lose. So they're my top 5 of the week. I know a lot of people might disagree, like with the Chiefs. A lot of power rankings I saw across the sports complexes, you pretty much got Atlanta, Kansas City, 1 and 2, which I can't argue with it. Really, any of these 5. Pittsburgh, you probably could argue could be lower, but I think New England, Green Bay, and Atlanta definitely deserve to be on this list somewhere. Kansas City, feel real good about them as well. So, like I said, if they win next week, like I said, it's possible they could be number 1 next week. Depends on how everybody looks. So I got through this one pretty quickly. Thank you so much. Just wanted to touch on, I'm going to touch more about this Friday, but you know, all the protests and stuff been going on all across the league, people kneeling and all this stuff because of what the president said about calling them SOBs and all this other nonsense that's going on. Like I said, part of me as a football fan, like, it don't bother me, like, protesting don't bother me, because if you think about the reason why all this started, thanks to Colin Kaepernick, which is getting lost in all this talk, I don't have a problem with it at all. I'm not real sensitive. I don't really see it as disrespecting the flag, which a lot of people always go to. I think that's just an excuse not to talk about the real issues. But that being said, it was a big controversy with the Ravens, my team, my home team. I'm from Baltimore. Of course, some of their players kneeled over in London Sunday, and of course our legend, which nobody can't deny, of this football team is Ray Lewis, and he was there. And there's been a lot of controversy in the media, back and forth, him basically defending himself. And you know, I could understand how some people might say he may be a little bit hypocritical or whatever. He said he was praying, which I have no problem with that. I'm not a religious person, by the way. I'm not I don't not into politics. I have a lot of views on that, and I'm not gonna get into all that stuff right now. The only thing I'm upset about, which better not happen, is I heard there's a petition going around. I guess it has to be somewhere here in Baltimore, because you know Ray Lewis had a statue in front of M&T Bank Stadium. It's a petition going around that they want that statue removed, which is mind blowing to me. Like, Ray Lewis is the Ravens. Like, there's no Ravens without Ray Lewis. We wouldn't be relevant and be one of the top franchises in the NFL, proudest franchise in the NFL. Got you 2 Super Bowls. He had his troubles in the past, which people, that's why I can't stand people. That's why I don't like social media. People always want to bury somebody when they make a mistake and never look in the mirror at themselves. But I'm just going to say this, and I'm going to leave it alone. But if somehow that statue get taken down, it'd be hard for me to be a Ravens fan, because it's ridiculous. Like, how, just because basically they saying because he's hypocritical, he's not supporting Kaepernick and all this other stuff. Ray Lewis has done a lot of community service in the city. Like I said, he's an NFL legend, definitely a Ravens legend. Yeah, he has his views. You know, I don't even agree with all his views, but he accomplished a lot on and off the field, and just because of this situation, which everybody, like I said, is just angry for no reason, but nothing is getting done. None of the problems are getting solved. It just would be upsetting to me if they take the statue down. Now, I'm not going to sit up here and say I'm not going to stop watching football and all that, because I am. I love football. I'm a sports fan. I always will be. I separate stuff off the field and on the field. I'm not that type of guy, you know, but I think it'd be a shame if somehow this petition go through and the statue get taken down. Because that means a lot of people are phony and fake, which is, this world is full of people. People just want their 15 minutes of fame and want to be relevant. And that's why, like I said, I don't like social media. That's why with me personally, like I said, even with this channel, I'm not going to do nothing that I normally wouldn't do. I'm going to be myself. If people like my videos, fine. I'm not going to basically sell my soul for fame or for 15 minutes of fame. I'm just not going to do it. So I hope the Ravens organization and the people that have signed that petition, if they watch this, think about what you're doing, man. Like, he deserved the statue in front of that stadium. He is, for them, I mean, he's the only reason why the Ravens even mean anything in the NFL. And I just wanted to say that, and I'll probably talk more about that on Friday as well, but it'd be a shame. So I just wanted to get that off my chest. I'm going to go ahead and wrap the video up. Talk about other stuff for my channel. My video games been a little bit slow this week. My bathroom in my apartment was getting painted, so that's part of the reason why I haven't done any videos. I got a Call of Duty video being uploaded right now. I played a little free-for-all, so I decided to share that video. So that'll be on the channel soon as well with this video. Of course, the sports blog, I started doing it early this week. We're doing it Friday instead of Saturday, so keep out for that. As I touch on other things in sports. Stuck on Mega Man, so that's why I haven't done a Mega Man video. I was trying to get by this level and I haven't beat it yet, so as soon as I do it, I will share that. Still gotta get back into Jack and Daxter. Still gotta get back into Sonic Mania as well. Like I said, I want to do some NBA Live, some more Man the Long Shot. I got into that. I want to try to get that, finish that. Share some videos of that, so look out for all that stuff. That's it for right now. Like I said, I want to thank all my subscribers, everybody that's been. I got some loyal watchers. I've been getting at least between 5 and 7 watchers a week that probably watch the blog every week or every time it comes on. So I thank you guys. Shout out to my man Derek. I know he watches, and my twin nieces as well. They real supportive for my channel. One of my nieces wanted me to do this game called Inside. I might play that over again so she can watch that. So that's something I might put together as well. Alright, that'll do it for this Wednesday edition of and Thursday night football edition of the Solid Sports Video Blog. Of course, episode 32 will be Friday, not Saturday this week. I'll be really busy this weekend, so I'm not going to try to fit it in. I'm going to have all my notes together, and I'm going to record it Friday, so look out for that. And next week's game, if you was wondering, next Thursday night's game is the New England Patriots at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. That should be a pretty intense game. Of course, Tampa and New England got games this week. I wonder how they were going to look. But that'll be the game next week I'll be previewing. So thank you again. Thank you for watching. I'll talk to you guys Friday. I'm doing it Friday this week, so just want to remind you guys again. I'm Troy West saying thank you for watching Solid Sports Video Blog, and I'll talk to you guys next time. Thank you so much.